Okay, welcome to the Bear Tiger Pod. We've got a special one here. We've popped into the showroom at J.Lindeberg in, where are we here? Shoreditch? We're in Shoreditch.
Hipster town.
That's right. There's a small story behind this. We've got one of our main men on guest here, Jack Norman, who's our point man at JL and a bit of a legend around our golf and stuff. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good,
thanks
man.
for coming down.
So the small story is that I set off this morning and running a bit late because there's a bit of traffic and so forth. So I text Jack and I was like, right, hello mate, just running a bit late, is it okay if you go half an hour later? And he's obviously just texted me back saying it's Tuesday, we're in for Wednesday. And today's Tuesday. So, but being the great man he is, he's accommodated and he's come into the showroom especially for us.
It's all about flexibility.
It is, yeah. There's not many people who've got that flexibility. He's one of those people. Hence why we like hanging out with him.
Yeah.
So, mate, thanks for coming and talking with us. And
thanks for having me.
We'll talk a bit about your story and so forth and a bit about JL and a bunch of stuff, really. So I'd like to start out with a bit of your journey in golf. Like, I know where you are now, which is golf pervert, loves it, all the fashion side of it, but like the retro clubs and the single strap bag, and he's more than happy to rock up at a golf club in a t-shirt, no collar. That's how he rolls. But where did it all start?
Well, I mean, going back in the day when I was growing up, I was, a very keen footballer. I was very close to making it, I would say, at plenty of academies, and football was my life. So I always say to my dad, like when we're walking down a fairway when I've smoked a drive, like, why didn't you make me play golf more when I was younger? But I was like literally addicted to football.
What position did you play?
Well, debatable. I was a very good striker, scoring 20 goals a season, but I thought I was a midfielder. I mean, I think a lot of, because I wanted more of the ball.
You wanted to hit the ball a bit more.
Yeah, so I think the good in between is a 10. I'm a good 10.
Okay.
But yeah, my dad, I would go through on goal.
So a bit of a Wayne Rooney, just...
more Michael Owen, I would say.
Okay.
Like, is my traditional style. But I think I developed my game as I went on to be a bit more of a creative midfielder, attacker. But in front of goal, I was lethal. My dad would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to score. That's the mentality that I had.
That was it.
So I would say that I've always been like naturally into sports. Mm-hmm. Like, I joke with my wife all the time because she hates how much sport is on in the house. But like when we were growing up, the TV was not off. There was always some type of sport on the TV, like long marathons of golf or, 4 games of football a day. Like that was kind of what we were used to in the house.
Just back to back. Like it's no holes barred.
No, like even now she we'll go out and I'll leave the golf on so I can see like where we're at when we come back out from like walking the dog. She finds that ridiculous, but that's like, so you can see it when you're walking down the stairs. So was always surrounded by sport. I would say that I'm someone who does everything with like a full heart and like no expense spared, no time spared. It's like all or nothing. So the football career didn't really work out for me. And as most footballers do, turned to golf. I was actually living at home my final year of uni is like when I really got into golf. So that must have been like...
Relatively late. Had you started golf before? Or was it quite late when you got into golf?
Yeah, I mean, I could swing a club, but, it was more like you'd rock up at a charity day or like twice a year playing off 26 or something and like hit a ball and people would be like, how are you playing off 26? Like I played twice a year, mate. So I had like maybe a 6-month period when I was about 20, 21, where I played quite a bit, got down to an 18. And
so that was like your time when you kind of became a golfer. It's like that was like...
Yeah, but then I moved to London.
Right.
And then golf went out the window.
So where did you grow up?
I was born in York and then grew up in Southampton. So moved there when I was about 5.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like, there was actually no time in the week at all. I literally played football every single day. Yeah. Like there was training.
Just living the dream, basically.
Living the dream, buying loads of football boots with all my pocket money.
What boots did you have?
I was an Addy man.
Is that right?
But then when...
What, like Predators?
Predators, always. Yeah. Or F50s when they came out. But then later on down the line, like when I was 15, 16, I got sponsored by Mizuno for a couple of years. Okay. So they were decent.
Yeah,
nice. The Morellias. So
how many boots a season?
It's more like how many boots a week.
Is that right? Go on. I only say this because I don't know if you know the story, but one of the guys we play golf with is John Terry, and he has a colossal amount of boots.
Still now?
Do you know how many pairs he used to wear?
No.
So he would wear brand new pair every training session. Then he would wear 3 boots a game. One in the warm-up, one in first half, one second half.
Wow.
It's like 180 pairs of boots a season. It's like a ridiculous amount. You're not up in those levels, though. Mizuno, you might put Mizuno out of business.
No. So I used to, because my life was revolved around football, I used to coach as well. So like from when I was about 14, I had my first proper job, but it was like cash in hand. Used to get paid like £15 a session. Thought I was a massive high roller. And then what I used to do
Balling out.
Like I used to get paid on a Tuesday. And so the coaching session was like from 3:30 till 4:30. And I used to get paid cash in hand. And then I used to ride my bike for about 2.5 miles to the Sports Direct and buy a new pair of football boots every single week. So it was at least once a week. But then I would say,
were they stacking up? Like, what's the old man saying?
I'm a proper Dale boy. So then I would go and sell them.
Right.
Sell them to me mates or sell them to some, like, I remember one time I sold them to an opposition player after the match.
Mate, it's a bit rough, those.
No, but I think I'd scored like a hat trick or something, and he was like, "Mate, where'd you get those boots from?" And I think they were actually a Mizuno pair, so I was giving them. But I was like, "Mate, do you want 50 quid?" Love it, fun thing. So anyway, back to the golf.
And funny enough, you've ended up in selling clothes, so that it kind of works out. You know, you're training back then, and now you're in the industry. Yeah.
So when I moved to London, I moved to London for law school, but then was intent on.
What age would that have been?
21.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been in London just under 10 years. Kind of sports went out the window, was trying to find myself in London. I had a dream to become like a retail store manager. So I've been through, a lot of different paths in that journey, working at Selfridges, Browns. And then, probably 5 years into that, well, no, actually not even 5 years, a couple of years into that, I met a guy and we kicked it off really well. And he was very passionate about men's mental health. Probably around 2014, 2013. And I chewed his ear off for about a year and said, "Mate, I really want to do this with you." And then we started a company. So we did that for about 5 years, delivering workshops. We built our own workshop program around progressing modern masculinity and developing how men view the world and, basically trying to combat male suicide, which is still the number one killer of men in the UK. So we did a lot of really good work, and that took me to a lot of different places, made quite a lot of new friends along the way. And obviously, when you have like a mission like that, you feel very fulfilled. But also a lot of people kind of, you get respect from people that, because, we were like 24, 25-year-old guys like touring around Europe, delivering workshops to like thousands of people. So it was good. It was very interesting. But then, again, it was full throttle, wholehearted, no money.
All in.
Yeah, on buses at 3:00 in the morning, traveling around. But it was great, for character building.
That's amazing. Because then that kind of took us to a point where when we would have met at the London club. Was it like a March? It was cold.
It was just before lockdown actually. So it must have been February.
February, yeah.
We did a shoot. We actually did a shoot for JL.
Yeah, that's right. So it was so the shoot was at the London club for JL. There was yourself, myself, and Harry Jameson. Yeah. And then was Rob there that day?
Rob was there.
Rob and Chris Watson from JL, and we had a photographer there, and it was, I can't remember exactly which range it was, but we had some stuff indoors. There was like a tie in there, wasn't there, and a bit of kind of a smart look. So there was some shots by the fire, which looked quite fancy. Then we went out into the driving range, hit some balls, and get some shots out there. And I just remember being outside, and I think we had a compression top on, but it was like a t-shirt. Compression top t-shirt and a little thin cardigan, and I remember just absolutely just freezing our bollocks off on the range.
And Harry wanted to play all 18.
Yeah, and then we get out there, and obviously Harry's he's buzzing, and he's there. We got the new gear. We're at a nice golf course. He's like, right, let's go play. And I'm thinking, and we did some shots on the putting green, and in between shots, I'm borrowing Chris's big jacket to try and keep warm. And then right, but now we're going to go play. And we get out on the golf course, and it's just so cold. And
it's the highest point in Kent as well, so it was so windy.
The wind's whipping across from the motorway, fine, let's just get a couple of holes in, and we'll just get out of here, get back and have a hot chocolate. And Harry's there, and he's just right then, what we're playing, are we going to do 18? And I was thinking, what's this guy
looking
on?
for his ball after the first tee as well.
We're looking for a ball after the first tee. What we need to do, we actually need to get on Harry to chat about this. I feel like we're talking to him without him being here. But it was quite a funny situation. But we played a few holes, then we had a good hit. Yeah. We had a good chat. And you told me about some of the workshops you were doing there. And I think you were doing one where you were going to go to... Yeah, you've been to Jordan.
No, we went to Jordan, yeah. We were actually planning a retreat, but then obviously the lockdown.
Yeah, then the lockdown all kind of hit.
But that's actually... So I met like Rob and Chris from JL through a mutual friend, and Milk for Tea was actually the first thing we talked about. And I think that's why they kind of liked me. Yeah. You know, we came into the showroom and actually had like a proper conversation about
that's one of the things which has been like what I like about JL. Like, yes, I'm an ambassador and so forth, but essentially, you know, I've been with other clothing companies, which is kind of generic. It's like, you know, you have a contract and you do a certain amount of days and you wear the gear that they want you to wear at the time. And it's fine. You know, it's part of the run the mill of being in the golf business. But what I love about JL is the first part is like the attitude and the people that are involved. And then on top of that, there's some like really like sick gear basically, and there's that freedom to be like, you know, I can wear the stuff that I like. And and it does help that I like almost everything in there, but I'm allowed to be myself in this space. And it's probably a bit like yourself, really, like just what you said there about like Chris and Rob, you know, that you made that connection relationship with them early for something which is not just, obviously you look nice in their clothes. Otherwise I wouldn't picture. I think you had long hair then.
I did have long hair.
He's cut it all off now. Just keep to the long hair, that part of it. But there's just more depth to the whole. I almost don't even think like it is a company, but almost depth of the whole brand of everything it's about, really.
That's what we're trying to create with, you know, some of the stories that we're telling now as well. It's not just about, you know, creating nice gear that people can wear. There's also something behind it, you know, or events or whatever that we create. There's always, you know, that extra layer, which
because there's like a feel and attitude to the whole thing, really.
Well, it needs to be intentional. It's the same with what we did at Milk for Tea. It's like I'm not going to come in here and stand in there without an agenda, really. You know, obviously I want to meet nice people and I want to have a connection with them, but there's also things that I feel like we should be talking about, and it's the same in the golfing world. I feel like we now have a responsibility, or I have a responsibility as like a member of this brand to like portray through what we're doing.
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity, isn't it, to do that? Because, you know, you've got a bit of a platform and access and be around just good people. Yeah. And, you know, which is amazing because not everyone has that. And if you do have it, it is quite nice that you know, someone like yourself has recognised that. And also from your background is from, to this point, you're like obviously an avid sports fan, golfer, and then you've dipped into like, you know, the mental health area, which now, you know, is becoming more talked about, which is great, really, which is essentially it, isn't it? Could we, you know, as a guy, you know, even my dad's, you know, he's from a West Indian background. It's very much like, you know, the man does this and he act a certain way and you can't cry and all that sort of stuff. You have to be like almost a bit cold in a funny way. Whereas now we're into a realm of like, oh, you're allowed to talk about stuff. That's okay. And everyone deals with it differently. Sure. And, you know, it's a bit softer. I mean, and amazingly enough, my dad's now not, you know, he probably won't want me to say his age really. He's north of 60. But I can even know he's softened because of how I've chatted to him about things, which he didn't know, which is a bit of a weird thing for me because I've almost changed his attitude. Whereas, you know, you look up to older people, you think whatever they say goes, that sort of thing. So it's definitely...
That generational shift, you know, I feel like it's been much more aggressive. Oh, I felt it a lot more in the last couple of years, I would say. Very much more expressive, much more about individualism. I think when I was growing up, it was probably a little bit more about being within the crowd. Like I never really felt like I fitted in because I always wanted to be different, but society kind of told you not to be.
So you wanted to be different, but you felt like you shouldn't be different.
Yeah. I mean, you want to be liked, don't you? And you want to have like a good set of people around you. But if you look back on it, really, like there was decisions that you probably made or things that you bought or things that you went to, which was actually not really the most genuine choice that you could have made. Yeah. But again, it's all about recognising that.
Which kind of brings us to that word that we chatted about a bit before we started recording was disruptive, really. Yeah. Which, you know, in your own personal character, you know, almost a bit of a disruptor. And, you know, I would like to think that I've tried to do some things which also are a little bit disruptive, and as does JL as a brand, bit disruptive. And that's like, but I mean that not in the negative connotation which it could be taken, but in a positive way. You know, there's other stuff going on in golf right now which kind of seems like it's a disruptor. Is it for good? We're not too sure yet. But actually going out of our way to be disruptive and just be ourselves, really. Yeah. And be disruptive in that way. I mean, my example, like in golf, is, well, I've got a million examples, but one of them which really sticks out with me is I've got a little lad. He's now 8, but 2 years ago, he's like 7 years old. We go out to the golf club, go out to Wisley Golf Club where I'm a member, which is a nice golf club. And he's not really into golf, but I want to take him up to the range on a Sunday. He's like, yeah, I'll get up for that. So I'm buzzing now because my little boy wants to come golf with me. Yeah. And I bought him a little golf hat and he puts it on. Lovely. And we start walking out to the range and I'm like walking up there, carrying his clubs. And then he stops just as we're about to go into the bays. And there's a few people in there in the driving range. He goes, 1 second, takes his hat off. What are we doing? Take your hat off. That's the golf hat. And he just reaches into his pocket and just pulls out his Captain America full face mask.
Legend.
Puts it over his head, pulls it right down over his face. He's like, right, I'm ready now. And I went to say to him, no, you can't wear that because it's golf. And I thought to myself, if I say that to him, he's completely fine being like that. So like, it's not to me to tell him he can't do it. Exactly. As long as he's cool with it, he's cool with it. And I had to like kind of bite my tongue being like, oh, that's all right. And then he walks in there and, you know, people then, you know, give him a little smile, a little fist bump and, oh, that's great. And I was thinking, I was about to stop him from being himself there, but he was completely cool with it. So it was actually my problem that I needed to get over. And that's kind of what we see a bit in golf. It's actually like, you know, if you want to dress a certain way and you're comfortable with that, that's what you should do. It's actually other people, it's a bit weird that other people are a bit uncomfortable with the way that another person kind of dresses, as long as they're acting, you know, in the right way and, you know, appropriately. And I guess that kind of brings us to like a bit where we're sat here in this showroom at JL with like, you know, all the different like colours and designs and ethos of the brand, which, you know, JL for me was the first brand that decided actually we're going to do something different here. Yeah. And it became popular early on with, you know, it was kind of set around, my memory was like, it was like the first brand to come out with white belts, like, which I know is not as big a thing now, but that was at the time, that was a big move. And then it kind of evolved into like, I can wear, all the Scandinavian lads will wear it, and you're thinking, actually, they kind of look pretty cool. Like, you wouldn't necessarily wear the orange trousers or white trousers, you know, to outside of golf. But then it kind of evolved into like, actually, this is just fashion. And it moved, and it somehow integrated like golf and lifestyle and fashion. And then it just has completely moved into like, I can now wear this and I can walk straight off the golf course and go somewhere else.
I feel very impassioned about this topic because there's been places that I've walked into and they said, you need to have a collar on. And I always say to them, this is a golf top. And if Tiger Woods was wearing this, would you turn him away? Tiger also wore a mock neck on the... I think the thing, I saw it on Instagram from a profile, I think you should dress for where you're going. So, you know, it's fine wearing probably like tracksuit shorts or a little bit more of a casual approach if you're going to a local muni. I think that's completely fine. If you're going, like I just played Wentworth at the weekend, I know that it's a little bit more modern, and usually whoever I'm playing with, I ask. But, I wore trousers and I wore a mock neck top and it was fine. My whole thing is like, if you're a member of these clubs, like, why does it bother you? Yeah. Because it's not going to change your round of golf. And actually, for me, it's similar with your son. When I'm wearing a collar, I actually don't play very well. And I think it's like a mental side of things where I just don't actually feel that comfortable. It's just not who I am. So I want to go out onto the golf course and express who I am, whether I have all my clubs customized and they're vintage and have a single strap bag or...
We'll get to that little bit.
We'll get to all that. Golf, but it's... I think, the game is super exciting because after lockdown, we have like 2 million new golfers in the UK who are young, who want to go out and have fun. They don't really care about their score. They don't really care about handicaps. And I still think it's really funny in the modern day of golf, the first question that a lot of people ask you is like, what you play off? And my answer is usually, I don't care. A handicap's a handicap, isn't it? Why are you limited by that? Some days I'll go out and I'll, hit 4 birdies. The other days I'll hit 4 double bogeys. Yeah. that's just the way that golf is. And unless you're literally operating at that top level and you're, you know, I saw something about John Rahm's schedule the other day, and he literally, it's like a full-time job.
Yeah, literally.
And you actually have to...
And extra.
And extra. So we need to manage our expectations about what is possible.
There's a reason that some of these players are so good. You know, like you've been around, like we had the event up at the Open Championship and got to Victor Hovland come along, and obviously like Nelly Corder's part of it. There's a reason those people are like where they are.
Yeah.
And it's, yes, they've got the talent, but they commit all their hours into doing that part of it. But then there's this other part of golf, which you've explained really, really nicely there, which from a personal point of view, I've started to understand more over the last few years and kind of fallen in love with golf in a different way.
Yeah.
I've been obsessed by golf, and I'm happy to say that since I started playing. But I started to fall in love with it for a different reason, which is for all those reasons, to go out and be outdoors, been the first bit. And then, you know, getting some exercise, walking around, doing something which, you know what, I'm going to be here and present for 2 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. And then, like you said there, like, and then there's all those other little pieces of like, I actually quite like now going to golf, just being able to like put on clothes, which I know are just slightly on the side of like, just slightly offside of like, are you allowed to wear that or not?
Yeah.
But like knowing that, like, what I quite like is, for me, I'm not just saying it because we're sat in this showroom, it's like I can turn to someone and go, where's JL? And everyone knows that's a golf brand. So everyone comes over and go, you can't wear that. I go, well, it's his golf. So just so you know. Yeah, exactly. And I almost love that part of it. That's got nothing to do with how many shots I have that day. Like, yes, I like to compete and that sort of stuff, but actually now I enjoy all those other parts.
There's a time for that though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, I love the walk. I love spending time with my old man, you know, making new friends. I think you can learn a lot about someone on a golf course.
What time? You never get to spend 2 hours with somebody these days, 2 hours or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Unless it's on a, you know, out on a birthday or a night out, you don't really actually get to do that with people.
Well, still then it's like, it's different, isn't it? Yeah, I think some of the best relationships that I've made recently have been on a golf course from someone that I've, you know, either I've met once before and it's whatever, blah, 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 or if it's I'm meeting them the first time, like instantly you have some sort of bond. And even if your lives are very different outside of the game, if you connect in a certain way on the course, then your lives are very similar on the course. Like your outlook is, and I think there's a great community on Instagram. Again, like I think social media sometimes gets a bad rap, but you're able to curate it. So I've been quite intentional about, especially working in golf, like what I actually see, you know. And again, a lot of these people who are doing really good for the game, it's not about scores. It's about like being fully expressive of yourself on the golf course. Yep. So,
yeah, I mean that's such a big piece because that's kind of brings into some other parts of like, you know, golf has been open tool for a long time, which for me, the more we like kind of delved into it, is lazy to say it's open tool. What that's really saying is like we as a community that have always been in golf, we're playing for golf. You guys can go and play golf as well. But for me, that's not enough because, you know, golf brings so much to so many different people, and actually making it welcoming, accessible, and making it something that people want to do. Yeah. And then once they come in, because getting people into golf is actually quite easy because with Top Golf, with Crazy Golf, people get introduced by family. That bit is actually relatively easy getting people to try golf. Most people say, oh, I understand now and I like this game, this is fun. But it's that next bit of like, but where do I go from here?
Yeah. Like, and you need how can I afford £100 round? How can I afford a $2,000 set of clubs?
Yeah, like, exactly. And that's the mindset is that's what you need to do. But then if we start talking about like gear, like you and I, like on a Sunday night, like we may be watching the golf or whatever day it is, we're texting each other like, I've just seen this on eBay, you know, a set of vintage golf clubs or whatever it is. Like this is only like that. And that's the part of, which is another part of golf, which we can open that out to people. All of a sudden, like that just, people can recognise that because that's what they would normally do. Because like, you know, you just bought a set of vintage TaylorMades.
Muras, actually.
What? He hasn't told me about this. I've seen the TaylorMades. He's now dropping this down there.
No, they're TaylorMade 300s, but they're Mura forged.
Well, there we go.
That's the reason why I bought them.
But that's prime, right? So that's like Mura, obviously a Japanese brand, Japanese steel, and it's known as being like kind of pierce resistant.
What's it like? 50 hand touch steps into each.
Handmade, the bollocks of a golf club, basically. Yeah. But getting further in and finding out actually these TaylorMade 300s, 300s.
What did you say? They're the bollocks.
They're the bollocks. Yeah, exactly. You found a way. You've gone on eBay and not paid a set of mirrors have got to be $2,500.
Well, my dad got a set, and they were about $2,000, I think.
Yeah, which you know what? Which for some people, if they've got the cash, that's their flex, and that's what they want to do.
But he wanted to do that. Wanted
brilliant.
To do
It's status and its profile. Like that's wicked. But there's another way. Like because you're more retro about the way you go about things. So as much as you'd be happy going, if you had like $2,000 in your budget to go and drop in a set of clubs, you're also like, actually, this is quite cool doing it this way. And that is like another part of golf.
Well, I think, again...
that it's not tapped into enough.
No, well, I mean, they were £300 and I got 2 wedges and they're like butter.
Happy days, you're flying.
And part of the love of golf is the equipment for me. And it's like...
And part of it is probably searching around eBay for a little gem.
Oh, that is exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
We were literally on our mini moon and I bought them and I drove on the way home as a detour to go and pick them up because I was playing the next day and I was just so excited. But... yeah, I think you've actually...
The missus must be thinking, is this really happening?
She embraces it now. Come on.
She's married you. She's had to accept it.
She knows how full throttle I go with things. No, I think with that, there's so many good clubs on the market, but you just have to be really intentional with it. Understand that approach is not for everyone and that is completely fine. I actually think they're the best irons that I've ever had. And I know that's a bold statement, but I think they are because of... the story behind them. I quite like that someone else has had a story with them. Yeah. I'm now like in the process of, I've just bought the shafts that I really want that suit my game. I managed to get some ferrules from the US, like sent over, which are bright pink, like to match the Robbie collection. Decent, I kind of want to have every grip different on them. So I don't just have to have one set of grips, and that's just my style.
So all different grips and all different clubs.
So I've been doing a bit of an eBay haul on different grips that I like. I mean, I was kind of inspired by the fact that a lot of people on eBay just have odds. Mm-hmm. And so like there's this really amazing lambkin that I was following for watching on eBay for a long time. I mean, it's only a tenner, but I was like, I think I messaged the guy like the same message 3 times, like, mate, have you got 8? Have you got 8 of these? He's like, no, mate, there's only one. And in the end, I just thought, right, I'm going to buy one of those. I'm going to buy like another, what are the vintage Golf Pride ones?
Oh, the Victory 2000s.
Yeah, so I got...
that is such a pure grip, that.
Got some of those.
The cords, they're the bollocks.
Yeah, so just, I mean, that's the fun of it for me. And then when you're on the course, like, once I've done all that and I've got my bag together and I've, kind of built my bag in the weird way that I like to build it that suits my game, I feel comfortable. And that's when I go and shoot the best balls.
As you say, like you hit a few good shots. It's not even about the score at that point because you're out there, kind of living golf how you want to live it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you do hit like nice little rip draws.
Yeah.
You're banging the putts in. But if you don't, you're still living your golfing lifestyle the way that you want to live it, not how some old geezer down who's, has his same cheese toasty.
Yeah,
he sits in the corner of the clubhouse, which, by the way, he's 100% allowed to do that.
Yeah,
but
that's his experience of golf.
Yeah,
but it's also like, I don't tell him how he should experience the game, and he doesn't really have a right to tell me how to experience the game. But now I'm kind of at that point where I wouldn't listen anyway,
Yeah, old enough and ugly enough to
and also been on enough places, like when we played at the Wisley, I was obviously a little bit like, oh, do I need to wear this? And as soon as you've kind of been on those places and know what is acceptable. Yeah. Again, you got to dress for the occasion. So it's not like you're rocking up looking scruffy.
Yeah.
Or, if you do it in the right way, it's...
Well, Wisley's kind of a good example because it is, it is quite a modern club, but, it's quite well known and it's a very lovely golf course and so forth, which people can hold in a certain esteem, think, oh, maybe I should be a bit nervous here and act a certain way. But their rule, we had a discussion about a year and a half ago about wearing hat backwards. I'm wearing my hat backwards now. I just turn it around sometimes. For what you said, really, I mean, there's been times when I've recorded stuff in front of the camera and had to intro myself for something we were doing for the Bear Tiger, and it just didn't feel right. And then I just thought to myself, what am I doing? Like, if I turn my hat backwards, I feel like I'm a bit more relaxed now. And I did a completely much better intro to myself because it was like the one time I'm like, I'm not on Sky. I can do it how I want to do it. It makes you feel a certain way, and there was a question came up like that I was like, oh, you got to turn your hat around. I was at the golf club and I was a bit like, I'm not sure if that's natural rule.
No.
And so there was no confrontation. It was just like, we need to find that out. Because at the time it did make me feel a bit uncomfortable. And I thought, God, I'm at the time, I'm a 38-year-old guy, pro, been in golf for 20 years, and I feel a bit uncomfortable. Like, wow, what does like a new golfer feel like who's been playing for 2 weeks? If it was me, I'd think, I don't want to do that anymore, and I'd be gone. Anyway, so it was no confrontation, and we were like, yeah, let's find out. As it turned out, it wasn't a rule. And then they went out of their way to redo the dress code just to make it really clear. And the new rule is appropriate dress.
Yeah.
So appropriate dress is kind of what you said. You kind of dress for the occasion. You know, you're not turn up with no shirt on, swim trunks. You turn up in golf wear, and it's appropriate for what you see it as. Which is all of a sudden that's now a place that I want to be. I wanted to be there before anyway because it's got pure greens and stuff. Yeah. But I'm happy to go there and take the family there and that sort of stuff. Which is, you know, it's now such a welcoming place. Mm. And I think that's something we want to get out there more and more, and, you know, disrupt the golfing world in a good way.
Well, hopefully it'll get to a point where that's just the norm and it's not a disruption. And I think, you know, I think I say it every season, but like you're sitting and viewing SS23, so which will launch next March, April time. But, you know, we've started to push the boundaries, and, you know, we've even got fashion in the other part of the showroom. And like, you could do a curated edit of the fashion stuff to wear on the golf course. Like when I'm going to a couple of golf days in the next couple of weeks, and I'll be taking some of the fashion bits. I won't even be touching the golf because so I'm hoping, you know, if we were sat here this time next year, like it's a lot more like recognized that actually you don't need to go and buy golf specific stuff. Like you could wear that cardigan on the golf course, in the clubhouse, and then you can go out for dinner with your mates and still wear the same thing. It's multifunctional, better for the environment, better for your wardrobe, you know. It's
great. Like another thing which is pretty cool now, like I'll wear like trainer golf shoes or like casual style golf shoes. So I just kind of like wear a pair of shoes every day now. And I really enjoy going out in the morning, and I put on like, you know, wearing Jordan 1s, golf shoes, and I have my golf bag in the back, which is, you know, we'll chat about the single strap golf bags, which are kind of a bit of a thing right now, but it's a bit of a pencil style bag, that kind of attitude. That's in the boot. And I just love the fact that I might be wearing a hoodie and so forth. And I just know that I'm not playing golf today, but I'm ready for golf, which is just like mega. It's not like I've got to go home, get my spikes, get all my gear on. I just love that, living that life basically. And even if I don't play golf, I love that I go up in the morning. I just feel like I'm a golfer in a quite a lifestyle-y, nice kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Like my wife, Amy, will say, you've always got to have something sporty on, like whether it's, you know, golf cap or some golf shoes mixed with like a chino or either a jean. But, you know,
what if you get the call?
Yeah, exactly. Tiger's out. And no, I don't think so with my game at the moment. No, but yeah, I think it's like that comfortability, but also, like you're ready. Like, and especially with, again, like the modern way of playing golf, like I'm more than happy to jump on the tube with my clubs and go to pitch in central London in a hoodie and like with trainers on that are golf trainers, and I'm ready.
That's great. And you know, we're going to do something at pitch, which we'll mention a bit later in the pod, but like, again, like, just love the guys at pitch, like Elliot and the guys, like they just get it.
Yeah,
they get that whole thing, like you just said there. Like it's now. Maybe I'm a golfer and maybe I look that way, but if you jump on the tube with your golf clubs, just sat there, it's now not like a really weird thing. I think 5-10 years ago, I'd be like, oh, that's a bit weird.
People still do look at you, but I quite like that.
Yeah, you like that.
I'll be like, I'll do a what's in the bag on the central line.
Well, you know what? We're going to do that, right? Because we're going to do right now, I want you to talk me through your bag, and then what we're going to do a proper video, what's in the bag on the central line. You teed that one up perfectly. Love it. Right, go. What's in the bag? So we've got your irons. You've got TaylorMade 300s.
Yeah, but I only play half set.
Half set. Okay, which clubs do you use in half set?
5, 7, 9.
Okay, so you go all odds. And then what's the top end of the bag? So driver.
Stealth plus.
Stealth.
I actually got fitted for that.
Okay, right. So that's very like golf. You got fitted, serious stuff, which you should do with a driver, I think. If you can find the right shaft and stuff, if you can, you should do that. And then 3-wood.
Yeah, so I was hitting, basically I didn't own a driver until I bought the Stealth.
Right.
So I was hitting the 3-wood.
Okay.
And it was going like 290.
And would you hit the Stealth now, 295 or?
No, 300, but nearly 300 is the Stealth. So,
okay.
You know, that's
You need a bigger gap here, because if you go and drive a 300, 3-wood 290, you need a weaker 3-wood maybe. What 3-wood is it?
M6. But you know they did the M6.
You loft it up?
No, it's not got a. It's glued.
Glued in,
but
which
I
I prefer. A glued in 3-wood is my favourite.
You know when you just love a club, like I don't really need it.
Yeah.
But what I really like about the 3-wood, and one of the reasons why I really didn't want to buy a driver, is because I love the 3-wood off the deck.
Right, get you.
But now I have a 7-wood.
Go on, talk to me about the 7-wood.
Which is my new mistress.
The new mistress.
So it is come from an unnamed source.
Okay.
So I'm not allowed to mention the source, but it is tour spec. Didn't get fitted for it.
Yeah.
The grip is backwards, which I love.
Upside down, yeah.
Upside
so no
down.
Reminder on it, yeah.
No
round
reminder
grip
on it, which is quite, and it's like a
grip chat.
A Golf Pride Tour cord,
right,
which
nice.
I don't think you can buy. I mean, I sound like I'm bragging, but
this sounds sick, yeah.
It's a nice little setup. Took it to the range yesterday.
Okay. Are you allowed to reveal the brand that it is?
Oh, it's TaylorMade. It's a stealth one.
So you're almost TaylorMade through the bag now then. Okay, so
I am TaylorMade through the bag.
Right,
yeah.
so then wedges, where are we at with wedges? Because you've had a couple of different kind of...
So I got some wedges with the iron set.
Right, okay. And they've gone in the bag?
They're in the... I've never felt so comfortable with wedges. Okay. And then I've actually been on the hunt to try and find 2 more for my dad. Because he loves them so much.
Right, okay. So what are the wedges? Are they the TaylorMade 300 wedges?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, nice.
They're nice.
Soft feel.
Yeah, so it's an approach wedge and a sand wedge. Right, so I'm just playing those 2. Yeah. And I have got a 2-iron as well.
Right.
But now, because of the 7-wood, I'm thinking of getting a 3-iron.
Just looks nice in the bag, a 2-iron. It looks
it's good
like
it on links.
Even if you never ever use it, you go past someone's bag and they got a 2-iron, you just go,
with a hazardous black shaft.
Yeah,
looks like you're an actual player. Yeah.
And then where are we at with putters?
So
you had that little blade number, right?
Yeah, I got a custom made one. It's like the old Mickelson style sink. Nice. Very good if you're looking for a new putter. All custom milled. So he does full custom order.
Nice.
A little factory in Littlehampton. He actually made one for Robbie as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, for Robbie Williams, which was a gifted one. But yeah, it's a real heavy head. I think it's 385 grams, so it's quite heavy. I love the feel of it. I used to be an awful putter, and now I actually got engraved on the bottom sinking putts, and I've been sinking some recently. So.
Oh, this is going to be a good what's in the bag. And then what bag are you using at the moment?
So I have just done a custom order on a bag. So that's in the post, but it's from the US, from a brand called Tyler Golf Bags.
Right.
I really love single straps, and I love the way that they look. And I was like given a Jones bag, which I kind of did like, but then it had a bit of juju with it. I'd never really played well with it. I'm a bit superstitious like that.
Right, okay.
So what I like and what I didn't like about it is that there wasn't enough pockets in like the slim style.
Yeah.
There was no like rangefinder pocket. With those, it is like
it's too simple. Yeah.
Yeah, and so at the moment I've been like gaming a Lynx bag, which I got for 20 quid off eBay, and it is brilliant. It's
Lynx was the brand back in the day. Freddie Couples.
Super hard wearing.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Because that must be 20 years old, if not more.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
To be honest,
that's
like
retro.
That. Yeah. Again, it doesn't have a rangefinder holder. So this Tyler...
It wasn't rangefinders when they probably made that bag.
No.
Probably why, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could always do a bit of a clip-on, but...
Yeah. It doesn't look... It looks a bit messy. I do that sometimes. I just never quite happy with the look of the clip-on on the bag.
Yeah. So the Tyler Golf bag is coming.
Okay.
It's a custom made. It's a full white leather.
Oh,
and it's got pink and green stripes on.
Oh, get on that.
Which is the colour theme. And then... I must give a shout out to the guys at the Flyers Club because they sent me some stuff. So I got a Flyers Club towel, tees, and what they call it, personals bag.
So this video could be our best what's in the bag yet, the most interesting.
I'm trying to give John Buscemi a run for his money. Okay. I don't know if you've seen that on Fair Game Golf.
No, if you have to look that one up.
Check it out, yeah. He also calls his 5-wood a mistress. So.
But you said it on here now, so it's official. It's yours now. You can go whistle. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're definitely going to do that one. So let's kind of jog it along a little bit, or actually backwards. So we're just a couple of weeks past the 150th Open Championship. It was at St Andrews, which was an amazing tournament. I thought it was one of the best Opens I've ever been at. I was lucky enough to do on-course comms and see it all unfold until Rory didn't win. That was a bit annoying. But some of my best memories of the week really did come from the Monday, Tuesday, and that revolves around all the work and the time and the event that JL put on, you had put in, I'm sure, hours of work, and probably spoke to about 1 million different people, having a pop-up clubhouse basically up at the Fairmont, which is actually at a really nice spot because overlooking St Andrews. It's like
best view of St Andrews Bay, I would say.
It's amazing, isn't it, up there?
Yeah,
and got good weather for it.
Yeah, I think the Fairmont get a bit of a bad rap for being like a resort, but the both courses are amazing. The views are incredible. The views on the 16th, which is a par 3 downhill, looking across the bay on the Kittick course, probably one of the best views in golf.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
I mean, maybe in the UK, I would say best views in golf in the UK. So yeah, I mean, it was a good week, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. We kind of arrived. The guests kind of arrived. We had glamping.
Yeah.
So we had the tents that you would get into, and you had all your JL goodie bags set out in the room.
Packages,
JL beers, everything. It was proper laid on. And then there was the vessels, which are like kind of fancy, like kind of film star, like caravan,
Airstreams.
Airstreams. There we go. And obviously the lovely Fairmont Hotel, and then the pop-up clubhouse was up on the range at is it called the Castle Course? I should know this.
Castle Course.
Qualify for the Open, though.
Well, it's in between the two, really, isn't it? So
yeah, up next to the clubhouse. Anyway, so that's where it was all going off. Basically, there's a money set up there.
Yeah,
all obviously JL branded, and had the Robbie Williams collection kind of fully laid out in there, and did a great job of actually organising Robbie Williams and his team to come and stay and be part of the event that was on the Monday, along with Victor Hovland, who just recently re-signed.
Yes,
a new contract, which is big
deal.
News.
Yeah, new deal.
Seeing that off, and he was a lovely lad. Like he was more than happy. It was one of my first times, kind of like hosting and presenting at an event. It was 120 people or something like that. It was
maybe
good amount of people.
More,
a bit more.
He didn't like my wedges though, did he? They were the old wedges.
No, he wasn't true on the wedges. So just to set a bit of context, so we get to chat to Robbie and Victor before we go up and meet everybody up at the clubhouse to do this.
Just to set the scene even more, Robbie's outfit is like mental.
So like there's a room that they get taken into which has one of the new collections in, and there was like a piece where different people got to go in, basically go into the room and spend 3 minutes, a bit like a film star thing, and go interview them and do some photos and stuff in this room.
It depends on what they wanted. Some people wanted like signed stuff. Some people wanted some to camera stuff. Some people wanted to ask him if he'd ever hit a shank before.
Could you see 3 minutes? So they get 3 minutes each, right? So in and out. And then I was kind of sitting outside, and then it's like, oh, Robbie's coming down there. So Victor's in the room.
Yeah.
There's Robbie's coming down. So everyone's got to like clear this area. There's a bit of a procession, like the team's made the call. So I was to wait because, just to kind of meet. So you were like, I'll meet Robbie and Victor beforehand, chat to them a little bit about what we're going to ask them, it wasn't going to be anything too intrusive. And I just kind of sat at the end of this hallway thinking, right, we're going to go up and do this golf event. We're going to do like a chipping challenge up by the clubhouse. And then Robbie just kind of walks around the corner, like it's obviously indoors, and he's got his like big, like cool, weird, funky glass goggles on. He's obviously got all his paraphernalia up his arm, like his bracelets and so forth. And he's just wearing this like, almost like a white gown.
Yeah, it's a poncho. It's a rain poncho.
Big old white poncho. Yeah. That was his choice in the midsummer to wear that. And he just breezing down. And pink trousers, just breezing down the hallway and thinking, who is this character? It was something like, it was literally like something out of a film. Yeah. But then as soon as he, puts his hand out, starts chatting to you, he's just a normal geezer, really.
Proper normal, yeah.
He just asked, all sorts of regular questions, talking about his kids and so forth. And he was charming, really.
Yeah, I thought he was amazing. Yeah. Like real props to him, because I think it must be obviously they paid the big money for it, but it must be quite difficult to always try and turn it on.
There's an expectation of them all the time.
Yeah, like you have to be a certain character. It's the same on the shoot. Like he was amazing, really open. I mean, he like questioned me about the business a lot and it seemed really genuinely interested. Whereas I think on a lot of collaborations, there's not really that depth to it. It's like, all right, there's these two parties and it's mutually beneficial for them to do something. So they do it, pay it lip service and then move on. And, obviously you kind of have to set your bar a little bit lower than most things because you'd never know what to expect. So I was kind of like, oh, he'll just come and he might hit a few shots and then go. But like he stayed around.
Just seeing the images of him driving around the golf club and on his golf buggy in his pants.
Well, I think that's the most, out out of the whole experience, and we had a really great week. You know, we had really great influencers there. Obviously, we got to go to the old course and watch some golf, and just we had some really. I was chilling in Robbie's room at one point when he's just in his pants singing, like. But I think
what was he singing?
Oh, it was like some old Motown stuff.
Oh, really?
And I think I don't know if he was like thinking about it for the new album or whatever, but he was just like getting really inspired by old Motown.
Really?
We were just sat there chilling. It was really nice. But actually, the most surreal moment, and you were part of it, is we had like a line of branded buggies like waiting to take us down to the event because there was like anticipation as to what's going to happen. Yeah, we hadn't actually seen how many guests were there. Or like what the vibe was.
Yeah, so we're at the hotel and the pop-up clubhouse is a bit of a driveway, probably like half a mile, quarter mile, something like that.
And we had to go like the long way round because we're at the back of the hotel. We have to go around the road. But like we just look back and there's like 6 golf buggies following each other. Robbie's like driving one. Yeah, it just had to like take it in.
We were like, jump on here, you can drive. And he's like, can I drive one? All he wanted to do was take control.
He doesn't have a driving license.
Oh, is that right? So he was planning to drive.
It was the same when we did the shoot. Like we had this, like the 6-seater ones, just like bowling around. And like one, he's like, right, I'm going to take it for a spin and see how fast it would go because we wanted to do like a bit for like the B-roll. And his security's like, shall I follow him? And I was like, how are you going to catch him up in a golf? He's doing like trying to do donuts. And he actually like did say, can I drive it into the pool on the shoot?
Brilliant, but you didn't let him do that, hopefully.
Well, I said, you
would probably have been okay with it. I'm sure someone else would have stepped in.
Yeah.
Nah, should we do something else?
Well,
distract him.
I said, you're Robbie Williams. You do what you like. Not short of
so that's a bit of a. If you want to do that, it's nothing to do with me. That's on you.
Also, I wasn't managing the budget for the shoot, so it's nothing to do with me.
It would have all been gone.
Yeah,
had he done that. So yeah, that was cool. And Victor was charming. He was really good. You remember, I had a few questions lined up for him, to get him chatting, but I think I end up only needing one question. He was happy to talk, and he was
very
charming.
Immersed in the brand. He's obviously been very grateful that we've supported him
from day one.
From day one, from when he was an amateur in college. Shout out to like our US president Scott, like finding the talent. Same with Nelly. Like he's got a way of doing
good
it.
People, though, isn't they? That's really that's two real likable, proper golf people.
I mean, Nelly is a superstar. Isn't she? Well, I mean, we text about it a lot. But she's
it's a joke, really. Nelly's golf swing is. If anyone ever follows me on social media, she's my favourite swing in golf. Yeah. It's a joke.
There's just nothing that can go wrong with it. But
from a technical standpoint, from the flow, from the fact that it works because she's number one. That sort of stuff, like it's a joke. And then she did that video recently of a left-handed swing, which is probably my second favourite golf swing in golf.
Yeah, it's a goal to be able to do that. But yeah, she's a superstar. So I think we get approached a lot about players and ambassadors, which you are one of. And I think what also sets us apart is that we're not like a scattergun. It's very much like this is curated, this is well thought out. There's a certain market that person hits, and also they're the right personality for us as a brand. Like, I mean, Amy, my wife, said that using the word family in a company is like actually not the best thing to use. So I would say it's more like a community.
Why is that?
She said it's like, I can't remember the word that she used now, but she said it's actually quite negative, like a negative way, because obviously a family dynamic can sometimes be quite difficult. You're bonded by blood, aren't you? Yeah. So kind of you have to kind of put up with these people.
Yeah. And could it get a little bit us and them, I suppose? Yeah. Could get a bit like you're outside. You can't get into a family, can you? You're in or out of it, aren't you?
Yeah. Whereas I think a community, like what I've found, and having been in a couple of different sports like football, running and golf, the golf community is the most welcoming and understanding of everyone's uniqueness. So I think, like we're even talking at the moment about changing the sport Instagram handle to being the community handle, because I feel like we are a community. Yeah. Whether we work here, we're an ambassador.
Like that.
I think it's good. We've got some good profiles.
Yeah, that's sick. It's kind of like one of the points I had down here was like talking about the vision of the game, but I think that kind of like explained it really nicely there. Yeah. And I've never really thought about it that way. That actually, when you come into golf, I've thought about it that way because golf is actually really diverse, and there's so many ways that you can consume it, and use it and play it and be a part of it. Whereas I guess some other sports, maybe not the case because it's maybe a little bit more narrow.
Yeah.
What it is. Whereas golf, you know, has that beauty of being like young, old, male, female, whatever background you're from.
Yeah.
There's a place for you in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, not just harp on it because it's here, but it's definitely, I think this place, JL, is an expression of that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the ethos that we try and live by, you know, bridging that gap between like a lifestyle and sport. Like, why can't it just be a lifestyle, you know? And it's all intertwined, like you're saying about you waking up, you're putting your Jordans on. That's your life. Yeah. That's your lifestyle. And golf, you know, is a part of that. It's not separate from it.
Sometimes I get the question, and someone will say a bit like, Mister, like, you always like wearing like golf shoes or some golf gear, which obviously golf gear is a bit more wide now. Yeah. I always think, I can't understand it. I'm thinking, but I'm a golfer.
That's my wardrobe.
I'm a golfer. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
It's a funny question, isn't it? Yeah. But like, obviously, but golf wear now is different to what it was like 10, 12 years ago, which is, it's
it's not like you're walking around the shopping centre in your spikes.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah, I mean, again...
That could be a play. That would get some attention.
I mean, I have got a couple of vintage sets of Addies at home if you want.
I like it. Well, maybe wear your spikes when we do the What's in the Bag on the Central Line Tube. That would be absolutely mustard. So just, you may or may not have one. We normally do it on the pod every week and we call it The Head's Gone.
Yeah.
Is there anything in golf that's happened recently or in your life, but preferably in golf, there's been a bit of a head gone for you?
I'm going to say it more in life because Amy, my wife, told me off about it the other day. I really cannot stand, and I'm trying to work on it, when pedestrians are walking on the road.
Like, they've got somewhere to walk.
It's a road. So my head goes.
I'm with you there.
Someone actually called me a wanker the other day because they were walking in the road, and I told them.
Because you called them a wanker.
No, I didn't. I wasn't derogatory. Yeah. I didn't say anything. Yeah. I just said, it's a road. And
when you drive away from that, you're like, what?
Yeah. Well, Amy did say, well, you are a wanker for saying something. But it's also like...
That's good, that.
It is a road, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to work on it. I also have quite an aggressive car, so that people think you're...
Yeah, that is a problem if you have a noisy car. People just
like, I'm not even trying to like rev it, but it's just got a loud engine, so... Yeah. That's not my problem.
I hear you there. I remember, not now, but when I was much younger, in my younger times, having like had a Subaru Impreza, and it was just loud.
Yeah.
But people would just presume you're speeding.
Yeah.
Like if you had to pull out around the parked car, and there's a car coming towards you, and there's plenty of space.
Yeah.
You just get you get the wanker signs at you. Like I'm just driving normally. Like
it comes with the territory.
It's a price. Yeah, it's a price you pay. You do know that, don't you?
Yeah. But
any other little pieces you wanted to chat about, or have we covered most things? Oh, let's talk about some upcoming stuff. We've got some pretty cool ideas coming to the fray. So we got hopefully beginning of September. Can we drop this in there?
Yeah.
8th of September. Get this right. Having using pitch. And the pitch can have some cool brands come in, use the place.
Well, it's I would say it's my vision of modern golf through the lens of JL.
Brilliant. So, love it.
We'll have like a shoppable showroom of our new fall winter collection, which is, there's some really nice pieces in there. We'll probably pick 2 colour stories, both for men and women. Obviously partnering with you guys. Hopefully, I think a lot of events do live pods, but there's not really that much interaction. Mm-hmm. So we've got a bit of a concept that makes it a little bit more interactive, I would hope.
A bit of Bear Tiger podding, that'd be fun.
Then we have a guy who is going to bring multiple sets of vintage clubs that people can hit, and he'll give a bit of an education around them. They're there for people to buy if they would like to buy them. And then we're just partnering with some other cool brands that I think are doing either really good in the game, or it's like the modern vision of the game, who have either products or lifestyle stuff. So yeah, hopefully it's like a bit of a curation around like the vision for the game and where it's going, and giving some of these brands a bit more of like a pedestal into different, or like a true golfer market, not just like a consumer market.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, even if I wasn't down there in more of a physical capacity, that's definitely an event that I would go to, and Pitch is a cool venue to go and hang out
it's
at.
Perfect. Pitch is perfect for it, and it all works well. And again, like they've been super helpful in accommodating us, so got a shout out to them.
Nice. So, all right. So that's going to be on September 8th. There'll be more going out about that. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll come up. I'm sure there's going to be some extra little spin-off ideas, and we were chatting about some stuff before we started recording. So,
well, we always go rogue, don't we?
Yeah, that's going to be. There'll be something added in at last minute that completely wasn't thought about. Oh shit! Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Like a brand dinner in the tent that was decided on the Tuesday night.
Is that right?
Open.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, the CEO. It was like pretty much the first time he'd seen the tent, and it was the tent. Sorry, and it was proper popping off. Like Elliot, who is the co-founder of Pitch, was DJing for us, and it was, he was giving it some. And the CEO pulled me to the side. He goes, "What about doing the brand dinner in here tomorrow night?" And I said, "Mate, if I'm pulling a rabbit out of my ass, it's going to cost you." He was like, "It's fine."
You just did it,
and we did it. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cause I kind of missed the dinner part of it, so I was out doing some work. Doing some BBC work down at the course, and I obviously rushed up afterwards because I wanted to kind of catch a bit of the dinner. And it looked amazing, how it was all laid out and everything. And then obviously arrived, see you outside, and you were like, "Oh, do you want some food?" And you went off, and there was like a couple of pieces of beef on the plate, and I was like, there was no knife and forks. So I was like picking up my hands. It was lovely meat though. I did a bit of a disservice. He did
95, two courses, 95 covers out the back of a food truck.
That's unbelievable.
That's superhero.
Yeah, that's cool. What was that? What was it called?
Smoke and Thistle.
Smoke and Thistle. Yeah, that was really, really, really cool. That was a good job. That, and then the whole vibe of that party was great, wasn't it? Because Elliot obviously did an amazing job on the first night, and then the second evening
got spoony.
Well, second evening, I remember we rocked up thinking we've had such a great night last night. Everyone's probably a bit hungover. Like can anyone do this 2 nights in a row? And because Elliot had done such a good job and everyone had done such a good job. And then there was like a moment kind of early on, I was thinking, the vibe is unbelievable in here.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I've been telling people, and it was quite loud. It was early and it was like, the music was loud. So we tried to really have to shout to talk to somebody in the
well, we did get an upgraded sound system.
Is that what it was?
Night, yeah.
And it was just really kicking off. And obviously Spoonie's in there doing his thing and he's great at that sort of thing. He just,
gets people going.
He's top boy, isn't he? And there was like a little moment, I think Rob kind of went over to the booth and just said to him, like, can you turn it down? I remember just seeing Spoonie just kind of, you're looking down at the desk, just looked up and just shook his head and went, no.
He was in Spoonie mode. Yeah.
He was off. And that was it. He's like, come on the mic. I don't do requests, but don't worry, I'll look after you. And it was good.
Last song.
Yeah.
He was looking for it for ages because I didn't get him the right CDJs. So I will apologise publicly for that, Spoonie, if you are listening. He was searching maybe for over a minute and there was like suspense. And then he just dropped in the club and the tent was like, I thought the roof was going to fly off.
The tent started bouncing. Which was it was great. It was brilliant. But that's it's all, one of the great pieces of what you've done and everybody at jail's done. So that's pretty cool. And there's loads more to come. And we're mega excited for the event on the September 8th.
Yeah.
And there's probably about 1 million things we need to get into. I want to talk more golf, but we haven't got time. We've been running on for an hour now. So we'll wrap it up there, mate. Really enjoyed chatting to you. Let's chat again, do it more. And
Thanks for having me. Shout out to the Bear Tie Club.
There it is. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, guys.